In the heart of medieval Italy, a towering figure of faith and intellect rose from the humble town of Bagnoregio. Saint Bonaventure, cardinal, bishop of Albano, and doctor of the Church, blended the mysticism of the Franciscans with brilliant theology to illuminate the path of Christian spirituality for centuries. His life was a journey of devotion, scholarship, and leadership during turbulent times, shaping the Church and inspiring souls toward divine wisdom and love. Join us as we explore the epic and adventurous story of a saint whose legacy still shines bright today. Chapter 1. From Humble Beginnings to Franciscan Calling. Born around 1217 in the small, quiet town of Bagnoregio, nestled among the rolling hills of central Italy, Bonaventure's early life was shaped by simplicity and a deep, unspoken yearning for something greater. His family was humble, rooted in the soil and traditions of their land. Yet from an early age, young Bonaventure displayed a remarkable hunger for knowledge and a sensitivity to the divine presence that stirred quietly within his heart. As a boy, he was not boastful or flashy, but rather contemplative and thoughtful. His teachers noted his keen mind and gentle spirit. While others played in the streets, Bonaventure could often be found absorbed in study or prayer, as if listening to a voice that called him toward a higher purpose. His early education opened doors to the wisdom of the Church Fathers and the mysteries of Scripture. He was fascinated not just by facts or doctrines, but by the living truth behind them, the radiant light of God's love shining through the pages of holy texts. This passion soon took root in a desire to dedicate his life fully to God. At a pivotal moment, drawn by the growing influence of Saint Francis of Assisi's radical movement, Bonaventure entered the Franciscan Order. This choice was not merely a matter of joining a religious community. It was a commitment to a way of life defined by poverty, humility, and complete trust in divine providence. For Bonaventure, the Franciscan path represented the perfect harmony between intellectual pursuit and spiritual surrender. His time in the order was transformative. Under the tutelage of wise mentors, he deepened his grasp of theology and philosophy, mastering the complex debates of his time while never losing sight of the mystical heart of faith. Bonaventure's studies were not dry academic exercises, but a sacred journey inward, a quest to unite reason and revelation, mind and spirit. Yet his path was not free of hardship. The early Franciscans were often misunderstood, facing opposition from those wary of their radical poverty and new ideas. But Bonaventure's calm strength and visionary leadership helped to steady the order through internal conflicts and external challenges. More than just a scholar, Bonaventure emerged as a unifying force. His writings blended the fervor of Saint Francis with the intellectual rigor demanded by the Church, offering a vision of holiness accessible to both common people and learned theologians. Through his sermons and teachings, he invited others to experience the fiery love of God that burns at the center of all true knowledge. This chapter of his life is a testament to the power of humility and perseverance. From the quiet hills of Bagnoregio to the heart of the Franciscan movement, Bonaventure's journey reveals how a simple boy with a searching heart can become a mighty spiritual leader, shaping the course of Christian history. Chapter 2. The Scholar and the Mystic. As Bonaventure's journey in the Franciscan Order deepened, he became known not only as a brilliant scholar, but also as a profound mystic. His mind was sharp, capable of unraveling the most complex theological questions, yet his heart was open wide to the mysteries of divine love and spiritual experience. In an age when philosophy and theology were often seen as cold, academic pursuits, Bonaventure brought a fresh and fiery spirit. He studied the works of Augustine, Aquinas, and the great thinkers before him, but never as mere texts to be dissected. Instead, he read them as living voices, echoes of God's eternal truth speaking directly to the soul. His teachings emphasized that knowledge without love was empty. True wisdom, he said, was the union of mind and heart, where the intellect surrenders to the divine and the soul is set ablaze by grace. Bonaventure's writings, such as his celebrated commentary on the sentences and the journey of the mind to God, reveal a journey inward and upward, a spiritual pilgrimage toward union with the Creator. Yet Bonaventure was no mere philosopher lost in lofty ideas. His mysticism was grounded in practical holiness. He believed that faith must be lived, not just pondered. He urged his followers to seek God in the small, everyday moments, in prayer, in service, in suffering. In 1257, Bonaventure's reputation brought him to the University of Paris, the intellectual heart of medieval Europe. There, amidst fierce debates and intense scholarly competition, he stood out for his clarity, humility, and ability to unite conflicting views. His rise was swift, and soon he was appointed Minister General of the Franciscan Order, entrusted with guiding thousands of friars scattered across Europe. As Minister General, Bonaventure faced enormous challenges. The order was torn between those who favored strict poverty and those who leaned toward a more moderate approach. Bonaventure worked tirelessly to preserve the spirit of St. Francis while navigating the complex politics of the church and academia. Despite these burdens, his faith never wavered. His life was marked by deep prayer, fasting, and penance, reflecting his belief that true knowledge comes through suffering and surrender. Many witnessed his holiness firsthand. Miracles were attributed to his prayers, and his presence brought comfort to the sick and despairing. Bonaventure's mystical insight extended to his vision of creation. He saw the entire universe as a great staircase leading the soul upward toward God, each step a stage of spiritual growth. This image inspired countless believers to pursue holiness with renewed zeal, trusting that all of creation participates in God's divine plan. Through his dual gifts of scholarship and mysticism, Bonaventure became a beacon of light in a world often darkened by doubt and division. His teachings bridged the gap between reason and faith, showing that the path to God is both intellectual and deeply personal. This chapter of his life reveals a man who embodied the harmony of mind and spirit, a guide for all who seek to walk the sacred journey toward divine truth and love. Chapter 3: Shepherd of Souls and Defender of the Church. After years of dedicated study and leadership within the Franciscan Order, Bonaventure's wisdom and holiness earned him one of the highest honors of his time. He was appointed Cardinal Bishop of Albano, a position that placed him at the heart of the Church's governance during a period of great turmoil and change. As Cardinal Bishop, Bonaventure faced the enormous responsibility of shepherding not only the Franciscans, but the entire Church in a time when political and spiritual conflicts threatened its unity. His deep faith and unwavering commitment to justice made him a pillar of strength amid the storms. Bonaventure became a trusted advisor to Pope Gregory X, playing a crucial role in the Second Council of Lyons in 1274. This council sought to heal divisions between the Eastern and Western churches and to call for a new crusade to defend Christendom. Bonaventure's eloquence and insight helped guide these efforts with a spirit of peace and renewal. Despite the heavy burdens of office, Bonaventure never lost his Franciscan humility. He continued to live simply, dedicating himself to prayer, study, and the care of the poor and sick. He was known to visit hospitals and monasteries, comforting the suffering and encouraging all to deepen their faith. His leadership was marked by a unique blend of firmness and compassion. Bonaventure defended orthodox teachings with zeal, but always sought to reconcile differences through dialogue and understanding. His letters and sermons reveal a pastor's heart, deeply concerned with the spiritual well-being of all people. During this time, many miracles were attributed to his intercession, healing the sick, comforting the afflicted, and inspiring conversions. These wonders only deepened the devotion of those who looked to him as a true servant of God. Bonaventure's writings from this period show a mature theologian fully aware of the weight of his calling. He continued to emphasize the journey of the soul toward God, encouraging believers to embrace both the light and shadow of life as instruments of spiritual growth. His final years were spent in prayer and preparation for his heavenly reward. On July 15th, 1274, just days after the close of the Council of Lyons, Bonaventure passed away, leaving behind a legacy of faith, wisdom, and holiness that would inspire generations to come. This chapter of his life stands as a testament to the power of steadfast faith and courageous leadership. Bonaventure was not only a scholar and mystic, but a true shepherd of souls, whose life was a shining beacon amid the challenges of his age. Chapter 4: The Saint and the Seraphic Doctor. The legacy of Saint Bonaventure did not end with his passing. Rather, like a star that shines brighter after it falls, his life and teachings continued to illuminate the path of the Church long after his earthly journey had concluded. In the years following his death, Bonaventure's influence grew steadily. He was remembered not only as a cardinal and bishop, but as the soul of the Franciscan spirit, a man who embodied the ideals of Saint Francis with extraordinary clarity. His writings became spiritual treasures, passed from monastery to monastery, inspiring monks, priests, scholars, and lay people alike. Among his most beloved works is The Journey of the Mind to God, Itinerarium Mentis in Deum, a masterpiece of mystical theology that outlines the ascent of the soul through stages of contemplation. In it, Bonaventure describes how the beauty of creation leads the heart to the Creator, how the soul must pass through purification and illumination, and how it ultimately reaches union with the divine in perfect love. He taught that Christ crucified is the key to all wisdom, that true understanding begins with humility, and that no knowledge is complete without love. For Bonaventure, theology was not an abstract science. It was a path toward the embrace of God. This radiant vision earned him the title Doctor Seraphicus, the Seraphic Doctor, a recognition of the fiery and angelic passion that infused his teaching. His devotion to the Eucharist, his reverence for the Blessed Virgin Mary, and his love for the simplicity of Franciscan life became hallmarks of his spirituality. He urged believers not only to contemplate divine mysteries, but to live them, to serve the poor, to forgive enemies, to walk humbly with God. Over time, miracles attributed to his intercession began to spread. Healings, conversions, divine protections. Pilgrims visited his tomb, seeking solace and inspiration. His memory became a source of strength for a church often torn by divisions and worldly distractions. In 1482, Pope Sixtus canonized Bonaventure, affirming what countless souls already believed, that he was a true saint of God. And in 1588, Pope Sixtus V declared him a doctor of the Church, placing him among the greatest teachers in Catholic history, alongside Augustine, Ambrose, Gregory, and Thomas Aquinas. To this day, Saint Bonaventure remains a guiding light. He reminds us that holiness does not lie in fame or power, but in the quiet fire of love for God. He invites us to see the universe not as chaos, but as a sacred ladder leading us higher, ever higher, into the heart of the eternal. His legacy is not locked in the past. It breathes in every act of mercy, every prayer whispered in trust, every seeker who yearns to understand and be transformed. Saint Bonaventure's voice still echoes, calling us to rise, not just in knowledge, but in love, a flame that still burns. Thus ends the journey through the luminous life of Saint Bonaventure of Bagnoregio, the humble friar, the wise cardinal, the seraphic doctor whose words still breathe fire into the heart of the Church. He showed us that true greatness is born not of ambition, but of surrender, not of conquest, but of contemplation. In his footsteps, we are reminded that reason and love need not be enemies, that knowledge, when guided by the light of faith, becomes a ladder to heaven. His life is a call to all who long to serve God with both mind and heart, to those who walk the path of simplicity and seek the eternal in the silence of prayer. May his example inspire us to climb ever higher, to seek not only truth, but the God who is truth. Like Bonaventure, may we burn with the flame of divine charity and illuminate the world around us. Thank you for joining us on this spiritual journey through the life of one of the Church's most radiant saints. If this story moved your heart, consider sharing it with others, and don't forget to explore the lives of other holy men and women who changed the world through the power of faith. Thank you for watching our videos. May peace, light, and the love of Christ be with you always. Until next time, may the road rise to meet you, and may the saints walk beside you.